one of the things you'll discover as soon as you start at General Synod is that you have vast amounts of paperwork on a whole range of subjects. There are some subjects that really interest you and some which frankly interest you less. For me, the subject that really gripped me in the last 2 quinquennia of General Synod was the question of women bishops and how as a church we move forward to enable that legislation. So one of the things that I did as a member of General Synod was I served on committees that began to explore that legislation and finally brought it to a final vote in 2014 when it was passed. What you'll find on General Synod is that there are some things that you do that are right at the heart of what you think is important and those things that you love. There'll be other things that are much different and probably much less exciting to you. But actually each of them in their different ways help us to remind ourselves of what we are as a church, what we're trying to be as a church, to be a church which proclaims the good news of Jesus Christ to the UK at the moment.
So for me, 3 things come to mind. One is the amazing guests we had speaking in Synod from other parts of the world. So I remember very clearly the Archbishop from Syria speaking about the plight of refugees and the Christian church in Syria. Secondly, when we were debating discussions about fees for weddings and funerals and baptism text, it was so important to hear from people about what difference that really would or wouldn't make to them in their parishes. And thirdly, I think just struck by people's honesty. One of the great debates we had was about domestic violence and the vulnerability that people showed as they spoke about their experiences was very moving. So it meant that our discussions were really rooted in the reality of what was going on in the world, what was going on in parishes, what was going on in people's lives.
I was on Synod for 5 terms, that's 25 years, and it's grown, changed and developed a huge amount over that time, over that quarter of a century. And I think the way we do business in Synod has got more efficient, people know more clearly what's going on, there's better systems in place. But the important thing about Synod is that yes, it is the Church's Parliament. Apart from the Houses of Parliament, it's the only other law-making body in the land. So we do pass law, canon law, but it's also a body where we discuss the major issues that affect people in our churches, Christians, but also just the major issues of the day, like assisted dying, like the relationship between science and religion, and many other issues, medical ethics. So it's hugely important. And I would say to someone who's joining it or rejoining it, that there would be, I think, 3 things to look out for. Is first of all, when you come, you are not a representative. You were elected by people, but you don't represent them in a narrow way. You must listen to debates, take in, read the papers, and listen to what other people say during the debates, then pray about it, and then make up your own mind before you vote on something, because ultimately you have to vote according to your own conscience.